Most Volkswagen owners spend hundreds of dollars every single year paying shops to clean parts they could have done themselves in minutes, and it gets worse. They also ignore the handful of components that quietly destroy engines, drown the electronics, and wreck the brakes when they're left dirty. And by the time the warning light comes on, the cheap fix has already turned into a four-figure repair. So today, we're counting down the 8 Volkswagen parts you should be cleaning about every 10,000 miles to avoid those expensive repairs. Some of these take 5 minutes in a can of spray. One of them can save you a $5,000 bill, and the number one on this list could save your life. We start all the way up at number 8, your throttle body. Number 8, the throttle body. Think of the throttle body as the gatekeeper for all the air going into your engine. When you press the gas, a flap inside called the butterfly valve swings open and lets air rush in to mix with your fuel. It sounds simple, and it is, right up until it gets dirty. On a turbocharged VW, oily vapor is constantly drifting back through the intake from the crankcase, and it mixes with the fine dust that slips through the air filter and leaves a sticky brown film right on that flap and the bore around it. As the gunk builds up, the flap can't seat properly, the airflow gets choked, and the computer starts guessing. That's when your Golf, Jetta, Passat, Tiguan, or Atlas begins idling rough, shaking at the lights, hesitating off the line, stalling as you roll up to a stop, and throwing that dreaded EPC light on the dash, the one that puts the whole car into reduced power. Here is where the money gets silly. Most shops now charge around $140 an hour just for labor, and a VW dealer piles another $20 or $30 on top of that, so they will happily charge you $100 to $200 to wipe down one part. Some will fold it into a $250 fuel system service you don't actually need, and if a service writer talks you into replacing the entire throttle body, you're staring at $400 to $600, sometimes more. You can do the exact same cleaning yourself with an $8 can of throttle body cleaner and a rag. One big warning though, every modern VW is drive-by-wire, which means that flap is moved by a small motor, not a cable, so never force it open with your fingers because you can wreck that motor and turn a free job into a real bill. Spray it gently, let the cleaner soften the gunk, and wipe it clean. On most VWs, the computer then needs a quick throttle body adaptation reset with a cheap OBD tool like an OBD11 or VCDS, so it relearns where the clean flap sits, otherwise the idle can hunt for a day or two. And a little honesty here, because a lot of owners go overboard. These engines run a long way without obsessive cleaning, so don't let anyone scare you into a giant bill. A careful clean about once a year is plenty. That one saves you a fortune. But the next part comes wrapped in a myth that even good mechanics still repeat, and believing it can quietly cost you an entire engine. Number 7, the engine air filter. Number 7 is your engine air filter, and it comes with a lie attached. You've heard it 100 times. A dirty air filter kills your gas mileage, so swap it out to save fuel. It sounds about right, and on a modern Volkswagen, it is dead wrong. The Department of Energy actually paid Oak Ridge National Laboratory to test this on real engines, and they found that on modern fuel-injected cars, a clogged air filter has basically no effect on your miles per gallon because your VW's computer simply trims the fuel to match the air coming in, so the mileage barely moves. So why bother cleaning it at all? 2 real reasons, and both matter more than fuel. First, a dirty filter absolutely does steal your acceleration, so the car feels lazy and flat when you get on the boost because the turbo is trying to pull air through a clogged sponge. Second, and this is the big one, that filter is the only thing standing between fine grit and the inside of your turbocharged engine. Let it clog until it overflows, or let the edge seal fail, or let it tear, and that grit gets pulled straight past it. From there, it sandblasts your cylinder walls, chews up the turbo blade spinning at 150,000 RPM and coats your IMOF sensor on the way in, and that is the kind of damage that ends engines and turbos, not just filters. Volkswagen's own schedule says change it around every 20 to 30,000 miles. But if you drive dusty back roads, gravel, or heavy city grime, that number needs to come way down, and simply checking it every 10,000 miles costs you nothing. The job is stupidly easy. Pop the clips on the airbox, lift the old filter out, and hold it up to a light. If you can't see light coming through the pleats, it's done. Drop in a fresh one for $20 to $40. A trick a lot of high-mileage VW owners use is running a quality washable filter and keeping a clean spare in the trunk, so a long dusty trip never leaves them driving home on a choked one. Good filtration literally shows up in an engine oil analysis, so this cheap little part is protecting the single most expensive thing you own. That protects your engine. The next one is even simpler, and it's the reason so many perfectly good Volkswagens get towed for no clear reason at all. Number 6, the battery terminals. Number 6 is sitting right on top of your battery, and almost nobody thinks to check it. Pop the hood, lift the cover, and look at the terminals. If you see a crusty white, blue, or greenish powder creeping around them, that's corrosion, and it is quietly strangling the power flowing out of your battery. That gunk works like a roadblock for electricity, and Volkswagens hate a weak connection more than almost any car on the road. A little corrosion here gives you slow cranks, hard starts, a flickering dash, random warning lights, a start-stop system that suddenly says it's not available, and the kind of phantom electrical gremlins that send owners chasing faults that were never really there, sometimes for months. It's worse on modern VWs because so many run a start-stop system on a pricey AGM battery that's already working hard, and that battery only lasts 3 to 5 years anyway, so checking the terminals a couple of times a year is just smart insurance. The fix costs almost nothing. Always disconnect the negative cable first and give the car a minute. Then mix a spoon of baking soda with a little water, scrub the powder off the posts and clamps with an old toothbrush or a wire brush, wipe everything dry, and reconnect it snugly. A shop charges you $40 or $50 for that, and you can do it with what's already in your kitchen. While you're in there, give the main ground strap a look too, because a corroded ground causes the exact same gremlins and gets blamed on everything but the real culprit. Want it to stay clean? Smear a thin film of dielectric grease over the terminals after you scrub them, or drop a felt washer onto each post, which soaks up the acid vapor that starts the crust in the first place. One heads up, if you ever fully replace the battery on a modern VW, it usually has to be coded to the car's battery management system with a scan tool, or the charging and start-stop never behave right, so cleaning what you've got is often the smarter first move. That fix costs pennies. The next one is the exact opposite. It's buried deep, it's pure Volkswagen, and when you ignore it, it can push oil clean out through the seals of your engine. If you enjoy this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Number 5. The PCV valve and oil separator. Number 5 is your PCV valve, and on a Volkswagen, it's less something you scrub and more something you have to stay ahead of. VW calls it the oil separator, and on the EA888 turbo engines in nearly every Golf, GTI, Jetta, Passat, Tiguan, and Atlas, it's a plastic assembly bolted right on top of the engine with a thin rubber diaphragm inside. Its whole job is to pull the oily blow-by gases out of the crankcase, drain the liquid oil back down where it belongs, and route the leftover vapor up into the intake to be burned. Here's what's actually happening when it fails. That rubber diaphragm tears, and now the crankcase can't regulate its own pressure. You get a loud whistle or hiss at idle, a rough shuddery idle, oil disappearing between changes, and a check engine light. Very often a lean running code or a P0101 that sends people off chasing completely the wrong part. And in the worst case, that trapped crankcase pressure pushes oil straight past your seals and can blow out the rear main seal between the engine and the transmission, which is a transmission out $1,000 plus repair over a part that started at a few bucks. Here's a 60-second test you can do in your driveway right now. With the engine idling, slowly twist off the oil filler cap. If the idle drops or changes hard, or if that whistle suddenly stops when the cap comes off, your PCV diaphragm is torn and it's time. On the older Gen 1 and Gen 2 engines, the separator is a serviceable part, often just $80 to $150 for a 20-minute job, using genuine part numbers like 06-103495 or on a MK7 the 06K103495 unit. On the newest EA8 A8s, VW built the PCV right into the valve cover, so a torn diaphragm means a whole valve cover assembly, which runs $400 to $600. Either way, plenty of smart VW owners just replace it proactively around every 50 to 60,000 miles with a genuine part and never think about it again. And here's the bonus most people miss. Keeping the breather hoses clear and adding a proper catch traps that oil vapor before it can bake onto the back of your intake valves as hard carbon, and on a direct injected VW, that carbon is the exact buildup that causes cold start misfires and has owners paying $800 to $1,500 for a walnut blasting service down the road. That one is buried deep and it's a big money saver, but the next one lives in the single easiest spot on the whole car, and half of you have been breathing through a filthy one for years without knowing it. Number 4. The cabin air filter. Number 4 hides behind your glove box, and it's your cabin air filter, the one VW calls the pollen filter. The part that genuinely surprises people is what's actually sitting in that slot. Plenty of Volkswagens are driving around with a filter so packed with debris it's turned into a solid felt brick, and a fair number have gone years without a single person ever touching it because it's out of sight and off the radar. If yours is clogged, then every mile you've been pulling road dust, pollen, brake dust, and exhaust from the car in front of you straight into your lungs. You'll notice a choked one as a musty damp smell the moment the fan kicks on, windows that fog up and simply won't clear, and vents that barely push air even with the blower roaring on high. A huge number of owners think their air conditioning is dying and start pricing out compressor work, when the real problem is a filter choked so solid that almost no air can get through it. On most VWs, the schedule is around every 15 to 20,000 miles. And if you live somewhere dusty, drive through heavy pollen, or spend time around wildfire smoke, you cut that down. The job takes about 10 minutes and no real tools. Drop the glove box down past its side stops, slide the old filter out of its tray, take note of the little airflow arrow printed on the frame, and slide a fresh one in for $15 to $40. On some of the older models, the filter comes out in two halves, so don't panic if the first piece doesn't clear the opening cleanly, you just work them out one at a time. A shop will charge you $70 to $90 for that same 10 minutes of work. And if you sit in traffic a lot or drive around smoke, spend the couple of extra dollars on an activated carbon version because it kills odors on top of catching the dust and pollen. Breathing clean air is nice, but this next part is where nearly every Volkswagen cleaning video on the internet gets it completely wrong. Number 3, the MAF sensor. Number 3 is the sensor everybody cleans wrong, your mass airflow sensor, the MAF. Search how to clean your VW sensors and you'll get a flood of advice telling you to just blast it with whatever spray can is under the sink. So here's the honest part. Volkswagen does use a MAF sensor, a Bosch hot film unit that sits in the intake tube right after the airbox, and its job is to read exactly how much air is entering the engine so the computer can match the fuel and the boost precisely. When that sensor gets dirty or starts to drift, you get hesitation, poor mileage, stalling, black smoke out the back, a limp mode power cut that leaves you crawling, and that same P0101 code. But you can only clean it one specific way. You use a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner, you spray it onto the tiny hot film element from a distance and let it drip dry, and you never ever touch that element with a rag or a Q-tip, and you never use brake cleaner or carb cleaner on it. That right there is how people destroy a perfectly good sensor and turn a $5 can into a $120 to $290 Bosch replacement. Now here's the trick almost every video skips. Remember that whistle from number 5? On these E8T88 engines, a torn PCV diaphragm throws the very same P0101 code as a dirty MAF, so before you ever spray or replace that sensor, go do the oil cap test and rule out the PCV first, or you'll spend $200 fixing the wrong thing. A dirty MAF is especially common on cars running an oiled aftermarket cotton air filter, because the filter oil mists off and coats the element, so if that's your setup, cleaning this sensor becomes a regular job, not a one-time fix. And one quick field test. If the engine actually runs better with the MAF unplugged, that sensor is lying to the computer and it's on its way out. That's one small sensor. But the next job is the biggest of them all, and it's the one that quietly drowns the entire electrical brain of your Volkswagen. Number 2, the sunroof and plenum drains. Number 2 isn't under the hood at all. It's the drains, and it's the one Volkswagen owners forget about right up until it costs them thousands. Your car has a set of hidden drain tubes you never see. 2 that run down from the sunroof through the pillars, and a plenum tray at the base of the windshield, under the wiper cowl that catches all the rainwater rolling off the glass. Over time, leaves, pine needles, roof grit, and general grime clog every one of them. Here's what's actually happening once they block. The water has nowhere left to go, so it backs up and finds its way inside the car. And on a Volkswagen, this is a disaster, because the control modules, the body computer, the comfort control module, and on some cars, even the transmission computer, sit down low, under the carpet and under the seats. The water pools right on top of them. Owners describe the failure perfectly. One by one, the windows stop working, the door locks start doing their own thing, the interior lights glitch, the key fob quits, warning lights cascade across the dash, and the footwell makes a squish when you press down on the carpet. There are active lawsuits over this, and even a drain cleaning recall, because a single soaked module is a $1,400 to $5,000 repair that no warranty wants to touch. The fix, though, is free and takes about 15 minutes. Open the sunroof, find the drain holes tucked in the front corners of the opening, and pour a little water in, and it should run straight out and drip onto the ground under the car. If it just sits there, get down in the cowl area, flick the little red drain caps open, clear the tubes with a zip tie or a length of weed trimmer line, and then flush them from the top with water until they run clean. While you're right there, scoop the leaves and pine needles out of the plenum tray under the wiper cowl, because if that tray overflows, it can dump water into the cabin, into the electrics behind the dash, and even into the brake booster. If you park under trees or you've just come through autumn, this 10-minute check is the single cheapest way to protect the entire nervous system of your car. Keep those drains clear and you protect the whole car. But this last one doesn't just protect the car, it protects you, because when it fails, people get hurt. Number 1. The brake caliper slide pins. That brings us all the way down to number 1, your brake caliper slide pins. These little pins let the caliper slide back and forth so it can squeeze the pads evenly against the rotor every time you hit the brakes. From the factory, they're packed in grease and sealed inside little rubber boots to stay slick. But road salt, brake dust, and water slowly wash that grease out and let rust creep in. And on a lot of Volkswagens, it's the rear calipers that seize first. The very same rears that carry the electronic parking brake, which makes them even more expensive when they lock up. Here's what actually happens when a pin seizes. The caliper can't slide anymore, so one pad gets jammed against the rotor and wears down to the metal backing plate, while the pad on the other side barely touches at all. The car starts pulling to one side under braking. You hear a chirp or a clunk, and the pad that's permanently dragging builds constant heat that warps your rotors into a shudder you feel through the wheel. Let it go long enough and the caliper itself locks up solid, and now you're buying a replacement caliper for $400 to $700. More on the rears with the electronic brake motor built in. Volkswagen's schedule says to service these pins on an interval, but honestly, just do it once a year and after any winter of heavy road salt, and give the rear pins the most attention because they seize the worst. The cleaning is straightforward. Pull the caliper off with 2 bolts, wipe the pins down with brake cleaner and a wire brush until they're bright, and coat them in fresh brake grease that runs about $19 a bottle. One tip from people who drive salty winters: use a silicone-based caliper grease instead of regular grease, because the ordinary stuff washes away and dries out, while silicone stays put and shrugs off water all season. And if those little rubber boots are torn, replace them for a couple of dollars, because a split boot is exactly what let the water in to begin with. One real warning on the newer cars: the rear calipers with the electronic parking brake have to be put into service or retract mode with a scan tool before you take them apart, so read up on your specific model first. Get this one right, and you will never have to wonder whether your Volkswagen is going to stop when you really need it to.